So the year is now 2021. Halo Wars 2 is over 4 years old now. And the question I get quite often is it worth buying in 2021? The purpose of this video is for me to give you my opinions. I have positives and negatives for Halo Wars 2. And if you're on the fence about purchasing this game or whether or not you're interested in buying it, maybe this can help you come to a decision on whether or not you should buy Halo Wars 2. So let's start with the reasons why you should buy Halo Wars 2. To give you some context, Halo Wars 2 came out in 2017. This was made by Creative Assembly, the Total War guys, and as well as 343. This takes place about 25 years after the events of Halo Wars 1. And this takes place after the events of Halo 5. So they took the cast of the Halo Wars characters and brought them from the very beginning of the Halo saga and brought them all the way to the end of the Halo saga. And you kind of get a little bit of mystery going on in this storyline, and it's really, really cool. And it introduces a new faction that we've never seen in Halo before, the Banished faction. And one reason why you should buy Halo Wars 2 in 2021, if you have not, is to get a primer for Halo Infinite. We know the Banished are going to be in Halo Infinite. It appears to be that they're going to be the main antagonist faction. It looks like we're going to be spending most of our time attacking the Banished or trying to defeat the Banished. I'm not so sure what's going to happen with the Prometheans in Halo Infinite. I don't know if they're going to even address that or not. But for what we know is that Atriox, who is the main antagonist in Halo Wars 2, is referenced in some of the trailers of Halo Infinite. So I think if you want to get the most out of the story for Halo Infinite, you should, of course, play all of the mainline Halo games, the shooters, the 1 through 5. And then you should play Halo Wars 2. This will give you a really good indication of what Master Chief will be facing in Halo Infinite. If you're someone that likes to play online in Halo Wars 2, you're really going to enjoy your time because the community is still really active and really alive, even 4 years later after release of Halo Wars 2. Halo Wars 2 remains one of the most popular real-time strategy games in the world still, and I think that just goes to show you how dedicated the community is for Halo Wars 2. Team Respawn, the channel, my channel here is dedicated almost exclusively to this game. Our Discord server has tons of people who are looking for groups, having team war nights, all those sorts of things. You can easily find someone to play with, whether it's on the subreddit or one of the many Discord servers or YouTube channels. You can find other people to play Halo Wars 2 with pretty easily. The searching for matches doesn't take all that long either, and still a lot of people play the game online. In my opinion, I think the quality of Halo Wars 2 is great overall. It's a really fun game to play. So if you're looking for a really good RTS game, you're not really interested in Halo at all, you just like good RTS games, you're going to like Halo Wars 2. It's one of those easy to pick up, hard to master kind of games. It's just a lot of fun to play. There's also tons of content in Halo Wars 2. It has, I wouldn't consider it 3 whole campaigns. It definitely has at least 2 campaigns. The main campaign that comes with the game. There is a second campaign called Awakening the Nightmare where you actually play as the Banished. And then a mini campaign only a couple of missions long called Operation Spearbreaker. So there's a lot of content there. Halo Wars 2 in total has 16 leaders. That is a lot of leaders in a game. I haven't played many other RTS games besides Halo Wars 2. And I'm usually used to a handful of leaders in those games, so I consider 16 leaders to be quite a lot for an RTS game. There's also a couple of firefight modes. There's Terminus Firefight, which is a unique game type, part of the Awakening the Nightmare expansion pack, as well as the Blitz card game mode, kind of like a mini game in itself as well. So there's a lot of content to be had in Halo Wars 2. I think overall the story of Halo Wars 2 is pretty well done. I think the cutscenes in Halo Wars 2 are absolutely phenomenal. They continue the blur cutscenes that kind of set the standard back in Halo Wars 1. And I think overall this is shifting Halo in a new direction, and we're kind of seeing that direction continued in Halo Infinite. And I think at first a lot of people criticized the art style, merging the classic and the new styles in Halo Wars 2, but it seems to have really paid off. And it looks like that's what they're going for in Infinite as well. So if you're a fan of those art styles, You'll like the look, the way that Halo Wars 2 plays. Finally, Halo Wars 2 is cross-play, so you can, if you buy this digitally, you'll get it on both Xbox One and PC. Doesn't matter what platform your friends are playing on. You can search any playlist together, and you can find people on any playlist on any other platform as well. So that's partly why the community is still so good and so big 4 years after release. Let's move on to the cons, some reasons why you may not want to purchase Halo Wars 2. And I think the biggest reason is that 343 has dropped support for the game. Earlier in 2021, 343 came out and published a blog post saying there's going to be no more balance changes, no more bug fixes, no more new DLC. They're pretty much just leaving the game alone and letting people enjoy it as it is for the rest of time. And a lot of people who are active in Halo Wars 2, including myself, really disagree with that decision. The game is not available on Steam, which is a huge negative in my opinion. But, if you're someone that wants a game that has active support, unfortunately, Halo Wars 2 is not it. And I don't consider that changing anytime soon, with Halo Infinite seemingly going to take all of the time and resources from 343 for the next few years. Halo Wars 2 also has a lot of bugs and a lot of crashes. You'll see in some of our videos we have a lot of pain and suffering when we play Halo Wars 2, and sometimes the game will just crash, or sometimes someone will disconnect, or sometimes it'll freeze. Sometimes when you play it, even though your settings are set to full screen, it'll start it on window mode. There's just a lot of things that are really annoying about Halo Wars 2. The game crashes is pretty severe, but other than that, there's really nothing that's game-breaking in Halo Wars 2, and to be honest, the crashes come maybe 10% of the time, so it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. I think the pros outweigh the cons in this regard. Finally, Halo Wars 2 has a lot of paid add-ons. To get the full, complete experience for Halo Wars 2, you should probably get the Complete Edition, which I think it normally is still full price, which is absurd. But there is the Season Pass that's an add-on, and then Awakening the Nightmare is not included in the Season Pass. So that's a second add-on. You could get all the content in the Complete Edition of Halo Wars 2, and that's what I recommend, but that is still kind of steep even 4 years after release. So to get the full experience of Halo Wars 2, you're going to need to pay more. That's kind of the pros and cons for Halo Wars 2. In my opinion, if you want to ask me, hey, should I buy Halo Wars 2? It doesn't really matter what type of gamer you are. I'm probably just going to say yes, you should. I think just getting introduced to the Banished and getting ready for Halo Infinite is more than enough to justify a purchase for this game. If you're on the fence, Halo Wars 2 is in Game Pass on both PC and console, so you can try it out there. And if you think that you'll be a little bit lost in the storyline of the Halo Wars characters, you actually don't need to play Halo Wars 1 to understand Halo Wars 2, but Halo Wars 1 is available on Game Pass for both console and PC as well, so keep that in mind. If you're new to Halo Wars and you're a little either overwhelmed or confused on how the game works, I have plenty of resources available to you. I have a complete guide series on the channel, a playlist that has a beginner's guide taking you through the steps of learning and understanding Halo Wars 2 and how to be successful with many of the leaders in the game. Finally, there is a Discord server with over 3,000 members of fans who love Halo Wars 2 and are always creating groups to play the game. So check that out. Link is down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to know your thoughts on this video in the comments down below. If you've not purchased Halo Wars 2, are you going to, and why or why not? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. All right, that does it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you, James.